General Milley is one of the most influential people within the military, and why would I not be there? If I'm trying to be, if I refuse to set down my sword, and I have purpose, and I have discipline, and I believe in these things that I espouse, and I subscribe to this, and I actually try to do this, why would I not be there, being next to the most influential person in the military? In the military, his position in the Joint Chiefs of Staff is an exclusive advisory role. That means that he has to work with whoever the current administration is. Mm-hmm. So imagine the things that come across General Milley's desk. Imagine the things as we have, do you see that girl that stole the luggage?
Oh, yeah.
The dude.
Well, it's a dude.
It's a dude, but yeah.
That's a dude.
That dude works for this administration and is elected and selected to be and appointed to be in a very crucial, important, at the
Department of Energy,
at a nuclear program, and that is the type of people that and decisions and people that General Milley has to deal with. So, as an advisor in the military, as you have to be served this plate of shit, and you have to do the best that you can with this plate to then make a meal out of it, to give it to the troops that you're trying to protect. I've been in General Milley's house. I have listened to him talk about his father that fought as today is December 7th, the date that would live in infamy. Like, his dad was one of the men that stormed the beaches of Iwo Jima. His dad.
Wow.
And team leader within Special Forces, General Milley was. And learning from his former NCOs about who he was as a team leader, you can throw all the stones that you want, but they're coming from positions of ignorance because you have never walked one step in his boots. And his boots, I could not wear for one heartbeat. To have to work for the administrations that he's had to work for this long. And I mean, imagine working for Trump and what has come from there, trying to protect the military and do things like, no, we probably can't drop a nuke on North Korea. Mm-hmm. Let's go and pause that for a second. I'm going to advise against it. To President Biden's like, maybe we do our evacuation slightly different. As an advisor, here's what I'm going to recommend that we do. Whether that advice is ever heeded is completely out of his hands. It is, man, that's a tough job.
Do you have those conversations with him?
This is the coolest thing about being Tim Kennedy.
I was going to say.
I can be honest.
Yeah.
And the only reason I think that they care about me is because I have nothing to gain from them. So they get truth. When the SEAC, who is amazing, former special, Jared, connected us, the current senior listed advisor of the Joint Chief of Staff.
CZ, he's a good dude.
He is a great dude.
Jared Taylor connected you guys?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, former PJ, SF, or AFSOF guy. And why would I just did a trip with him. We went overseas, we're in Eastern Europe. And why would I go with him? Because I get to be next to the guy that is influencing every single NCO in the current most important operational environment on the planet. Mm-hmm. You don't think, and I can be honest with him and I can tell him, having been to Ukraine a few times, man, this is what it actually looks like on the NCO level, at the tactical level, on the operational level, on the ground, what guys are really struggling with, the equipment that they need. What kind of hypocrite would I be not to be in that position, not to be next to Milley, not next to be CZ?
No.
What a piece of shit I would be.
Well, I'll push back a little bit. Because, he had all the temerity to fucking talk shit about Trump, but hasn't said a goddamn word about all the fucking stupid shit Biden's done. At any point, he could have leveraged his authority or power or the prestige you're talking about against the stupid shit that the Biden administration continues to do, including kicking a bunch of people out of the military, which is getting solved right now, by the way. But in no small part, because of General Milley, I found this out recently. So he's part of this NDAA bullshit that's going on right now to absolve all these people who got kicked out of the military for the COVID thing. But he still made that fucking decision. Yep. He made the decision not to put his career on the line. And that's something that a lot of people don't respect, frankly.
Who will go into that Joint Chief of Staff position if General Milley is outspoken as a critic of the Biden administration?
I don't know. Who's the next guy in line?
Is he going to be better or worse? Is it better for him to swallow some nasty pills that he doesn't want to eat and not be an outspoken critic if he can continue to influence positively? This is why I could not be in that job for a day, because I would not make it. I would not have the intelligence, the political ability to temper my mouth. I'd be like, you're a piece of shit. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard of, and this is going to damage the military. Instead, he fights the bigger fights. And I can't defend everything that he's ever done or the decisions that he made, but knowing him as a person and knowing his heart and his purpose, I know for a fact that he has tried to do the best as a warfighter to make this the most lethal fighting force on the planet, and he is being served shit sandwiches every day.
So is it more?
I know that's hard to swallow.
That's impossible for me to swallow.
I'm going to be with him next week.
Yeah,
and
call me when you're with him, and I have plenty to say to him.
Yeah.
But with that, what you're describing sounds like more of a political position.
Well, yeah, that's what it is.
It is, though.
It is.
He's an advisor in a politically appointed position.
Yeah, he has no authority at all, unfortunately.
But he is also the fall guy for every bad decision in the military because he is the front public-facing military leader.
It's his job to be hated. So it's appropriate that all of you out there listening hate him.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just the way it is.
But also ignorant to throw stones that you don't understand what you're throwing them at. And it is hard.
I mean, every insult you hurl at a guy like that in that position should have a question mark at the end of it.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking grunt, so he will understand.
And as a grunt and as an idiot, I the first few times I was there, I'm texting my buddies, a whole bunch of them that you know, is like
This motherfucker.
No, protocol questions. It's like, hey, what do I call him? Chairman. Okay, good. Okay, can I wear this thing to here? They're like, no, you have to wear this Class A's. I was like, oh, I don't have those. Like all of like our smart military friends.
You don't have the pink and green jet?
No.
You got to get some, dude.
I know. They do look good.
Yeah.
They've got some at Goodwill down there.
Maybe it doesn't. I've got a theory that it doesn't actually even look good. It just reminds us of a time when the U.S. military was doing what the fuck it was supposed to do.
I think it's both, though.
I think it's like nostalgia, to be honest.
They look like warfighter Class A's.
Not like our goofy ass. The Army has the worst Class A uniform. It's so fucking stupid. It's two off-shade colors of blue with a gold stripe down the leg. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
To your General Milley points, I heard something similar to this because I didn't know you were hanging out. Again, this question from the audience, but I took some shit from a few people for going to the White House. I got invited to the White House in April, and they were like, "You're a Trump guy. You love Trump and voted for Trump and everything else. Why would you go for the Biden administration?" And I was like, I had the same response. I was like, if you get invited to the White House and you don't get to either listen to the other side or chat with the other side or get to share your opinions and vice versa, because I don't need anything from them, very similar, where it's like, I don't need anything from any of those people. I can just kind of say whatever I want and go to office and speak to the senators and congressmen and everything else. It is more complex than people realize. Yes, I'm not a fan of fucking Biden or anything that's going on right now. But when you're there and you get to see it in front of your face, you realize that there's 800 problems every single day coming at you from all over the world. And you're like, all right, fuck, that job sucks. And I'm sure with Milley, it's probably the same way. To your point, Dan, what would you rather see him do, General Milley, when faced with some of the things that these guys are talking about, like as far as the pullout in Afghanistan and everything else? Would you rather him just resign and say, look, this was handled poorly by our president, and I think this job is not for me anymore. I'm going to retire and get the fuck out of here? Because that's what Mattis did in a sense, right, during the Trump administration?
Not in a sense. He did that. He penned an open letter, fuck you, Trump, I'm out. Okay. That's what he did.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I respect that about him. Although the decision he made was fucking stupid.
I know, but like, what could have Mattis had done had he stayed there? Could he have had more of a positive effect on the military had he stayed?
Maybe. I mean, so...
Not maybe. You know he would.
No. I don't agree with that because I think about Nixon, right? Nixon, when he was trying to pressure his attorneys general into fucking making bad decisions for him, they kept quitting until finally he ran out of steam and had to resign. That's what happened, right? So that pressure from people in leadership positions below the top level can have a severe impact on what's happening. You know what I mean? And we've seen it in our lifetime. Well, in your lifetime, you're 75 years old.
Well, no, I just turned 34. I think you're pointing to this gentleman here. Obviously, that Tim said was middle-aged earlier, but...
holding on to my fitness.
Yeah, I turned 34 in 2 months. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. But no, to answer your question, I would expect him to lead. Right, and to lead is not to do. I don't appreciate the way that he handled either one of those situations. Frankly, I mean, like I understand that it's a difficult job to do, but I would not have done it that way. I would have said, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong. You're kicking people out of the military for some stupid bullshit. Thousands of people, tens of thousands of people are getting kicked out, having their livelihood stripped away. By the way, this is in a period where a lot of these people, 25 to 30,000 of them, can't afford to put food on their kids' fucking tables. What are you doing about that, guy? You know what I mean? So, like, this is your job as a leader, to make sure that your people are taken care of, and he did not perform that job. Bottom line.
And with Milley, how old would you say he is in real life, Tim?
In real
Well, it's
life.
not a guess. We can look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are bros and it's just,
70.
Okay. It's 70 years old. With what happened, why would you still want to continue on with that job? And is that a question you asked?
Yeah, that, and I know that answer. It's that because he thinks and believes that he is still doing in that role the most good for the military.
Okay.
And I understand part of, like, from his position, it's the same thing from your position. If he just says fuck you and leaves, then he can't do anything else, right?
He's done. If he says fuck you and
yeah.
leave, his career,
And
not that
the
he
same,
needs it and he doesn't.
It's the same for Tim as somebody who's, by the way, still in the military, so he can't exactly tell the guy to go fuck himself.
No,
I
can't.
can. Go fuck yourself. But, no, it's if you want somebody to listen to your point of view, if you want to have an impact on their way of thinking, call him a cunt probably isn't the best way to go about it, frankly.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to the audience when I say these things.
Absolutely.
But if you're talking directly to the guy, you can't fucking do shit like that. How do you expect... Like, if you're trying to convince somebody of your position, probably not the best idea just to come out of the gate insulting them.
Right.
I don't think that's effective. So, you know, sometimes you got to fucking make those sacrifices, I guess.
Yeah.
And that part of it I do appreciate. But
Yeah.
the decisions are bad.
Hey, this whole thing, we've been talking about leadership.
Yeah.
And these are hard. And the being faithful, again, discipline, hard work, purpose, consistency over time equals success. All the things that we are working towards, that we're working towards. Like, how do we fix all of this? How do we make future great leaders that are going to be in those roles? It is not going to happen the way that we are currently directionally headed, the trajectory that this generation has. Imagine in 30 years from now who the Joint Chief of Staff is going to be. Like, what high heels is he
Some
going to be
dude
wearing?
named Kyle.
Yeah. I mean,
Born a woman named Kyle.
Yeah, but they spell it weird. It's
It
like
could be bad.
Well, the Navy
K-Y-L-I-E-Y.
just dropped their ASVAB requirement to 10.
Is that real?
Yes.
What does that mean exactly?
So it's not.
It's the Navy, though.
It's not a 1 to
Nobody
100. I guess it is a 0 to 100 scale, but it's a percentile, right? It's based on how other people score on the tests. So you can score in the 10th.
I didn't know that. I always thought it was like 1 to 100.
No, you can score in the 10th percentile and still get into the Navy now. Now, I'm sure there are jobs in the Navy that you only have to be able to open your mouth and make grunting noises to
Navy SEAL.
Well, that's more about the hair, I think. Yeah.
That was my best SEAL impression.
That was good.
That's
That
nice.
was
That's really
freaking
nice.
solid.
But yeah, reducing standards is never a fucking solution to anything.
super
That's
bad
stupid.
problem.
Yeah. Like if anything, when times get tough, you make the standards harder. That's what the Marine Corps has always understood.
Bingo.
More than any other service.
And what are you guys going back with Milley for? You said in a couple weeks?
Yeah, so who do you work for?
Me?
Yeah, this is...
He's China, man.
I know.
Right there. Look at his fucking face.
Kidding me?
You know my 5 W's?
Super
Time,
yellow,
place,
brother.
location.
Yeah.
So you were like asked to go to the White House over Veterans Day. President Biden asked me to come lay a wreath, and without a moment of hesitation, I was sure. And then General Milley and the SEAC asked for me to go over to Eastern Europe with them. So I went with them and missed it. And we sent our COO, Carl Kringle, and Matt Smith, 2 incredible veterans, retired
Operators, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
just
dudes.
like bad dudes. Guess who they hung out with? The vice president. That poor vice president,
Kamala?
Yeah, had to hang out with Carl Kringle and Matt Smith, 2 of the baddest dudes on the planet. You want to talk about whispering in somebody's ear like all the greatest things that America can be and the way that we should be doing things? Or should they just not be there? Or should they just have said no?
So I 100% agree with you. So did they come back and say,
Yes.
dude, you're not going to believe what we said to
100%.
Yeah. And what was her response?
Carl was probably diplomatic. I can't say the same for
Matt-
your other guy.
Matt
was
is
definitely
a
not. Yeah.
savage.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.